Susanna here, Angel Intuitive and Spiritual Guidance Counselor. There we go. So say it looks like, should I go like this? So it looks like my wings. Looks like it's coming out of my ear. It's one of those days. Yay. So today, fun. Stephen Farmer, Dr. Stephen Farmer, messages from the spirits of nature. I think I've done a few of these. It's that time of year, things are slowing down. Even slower when I screw up the schedule. Now I just forgot that someone couldn't come and forgot to take it out of there. Anyway, so these are lovely, and apparently I'm going through all of them, and they're quite beautiful. So this is the fifth one. So the cedar tree. Ooh, wisdom. Try to get me in there. There's a little glare. Wisdom. Also, when I'm doing cards, if I were using them in a session, I'd use the 5 for change, but these are just kind of in order of all of them that he has, which I think is a 40 card deck. 44 card. 44 looks cool. So cedar tree, wisdom. Yeah, what do all trees look at? Sorry. Try to get my face out of yonder. That's cool. Also, I just had this really cool reading with a group, or this couple in Canada, and for fun and inspiration. And the husband's reading mentioned the yew tree. So I looked that up, and then I saw a couple different types, but they had some where they were these ancient trees with these huge trunks. I mean, like hundreds of feet around, right? And to me, definitely, you know me and my trees and my hugging trees. Trees hold so much wisdom. So this is perfect. They not just wisdom, but knowledge, which is different, and history. Because especially the older ones, as they grow, I find more and more with whatever's happening right now in the universe, so much good stuff, nature's opening up. So whatever's happening, even with them still spraying the poison in the sky, nature's kicking up a notch. Or we are, I'm not quite sure. Or maybe both. But the trees are speaking up even more. And in particular, like where I live, there's a lot of pine trees, surprisingly, in Arizona. In my area, pine trees, of course the palm trees, which I'm looking out at right now, they hold a lot as well. They're a little more, they're harder to hug. Not because they're not lovely, but because they're scratchy. So I just kind of gently, or I do that with long sleeves on. But the pine trees are definitely opening up. And there's so much magic, I'm going to say. There's so much magic in the pine trees. And I'm sure if I were to go back east or up north, the oak trees, and of course California, the sequoias, the ones that are so much older. But the pine trees right now, because there's so much healing in them, from whether it's their sap, whether it's their needles to make tea, but just the energy they put out is just spectacular. And I've probably mentioned this a few times when I do my tree huggins. I like to hold them for a few deep breaths, and when I breathe in through my nose and then I breathe out, because they're giving us, just like all the trees, they're giving us oxygen, and we're giving them carbon dioxide to keep them alive, so they give us oxygen. And I've noticed this always, but it's more intense now, but when I breathe out, my next inhale, the pine scent is so strong. So it's like they're pumping it out even harder. When you give them love with probably anything, anyone, any living thing, the more love we give them, the more they give back. And that's just one way that I'm aware of that they do that. Plus they giggle, they talk, they tell us truths if you listen. I could go on and on about that, but I've got probably a dozen videos on tree hugging. You should do it more often. So get back to the cards. Ramble. So going back to the trees, try this. See what wisdom or knowledge or information you can pick up from a tree this week. Hug them. I'm always saying hug them, but be aware of the history. Maybe you'll pick up some information on the history of the area or that spot or whatever it's there, or how long the tree's been there, whether you know or not. But try that this week. Find the wisdom and the knowledge in the beautiful trees, and have a beautiful week.